Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Author Collaborative. As always, I'll be talking to an author whose book I have recently read and enjoyed. We tried doing this before, but there were some glitches, so I had to restart the episode. Extremely sorry for that. My guest for today is author Khushboo Shah, and we are going to talk about her book, The Mildly Chaotic World of Cheekeny. And it's going to be a really interesting conversation. To stay connected. We are going to talk to her about how she went about writing the book. Hi, Natasha. Thank you for rejoining. Hopefully, we should not have any glitches this time. Thank you, Natasha. Hi, Off Words and Blues. Thank you for rejoining. Khushbu is not here yet. Let's wait for her. So then I can invite her. Hi, Rama Mama. That's Megha. Hi, Aparna. Thank you for rejoining, everyone. Khushbu is not here yet. I have sent her an invitation. Hopefully, this time there will be no glitches. It's possible. Khushbu, if you are here, there might be an issue with your Instagram app also. Just check once if your app is updated. Sometimes that can also create a problem. Be that way. Khushbu, I've sent you an invitation. See if you are able to accept. Hi, Smriti. Good to see you here. Thank you for joining. My guest today is Khushboo Shah, and we are just waiting for her to join. Instagram is acting really bitchy today, not allowing the guest to join me. Just a few more minutes of delay, hopefully. Let me talk about the book till then. I think Khushboo is checking if Instagram is updated or not. That might be causing an issue. This is the book that we are going to talk about, Mildly Chaotic World of Cheekeny. And it's an alternate universe, where dystopian world where human beings are not the superior beings, animals are, and who is cheeking? Yes, true, Aparna. Yeah, so in the book, we are in an alternate dystopian world where human beings are not the superior beings. We are below in the food chain, and animals are ruling the world. Yes, the app is updated. Let me invite you again then. Okay, I have just sent you a fresh invitation, Khushbu. See if you received it. Finally, yes. Hi, Khushbu. I think you need to turn your camera, front camera.
हाँ अभी ऐसा ही हुआ होगा.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Hi, Khushbu. So nice to see you. We are here
Hello.
finally.
Hello. Yes, we are here finally.
Yeah, I was just talking about the book, and before now we could do that. Please introduce yourself to the audience briefly, and to me also.
Yes. Okay. So I am Khushboo Shah. I'm an eye surgeon and I compulsively write stories. Uh, this is my debut book. It is called The Mildly Chaotic World of G. Kenny. And this is a dystopian satire about which we will speak very soon. Apart from this, I keep writing short stories. I post a lot of them on social media platforms like Penmancy and many others. And yes, and yes, I was shortlisted for the Asian Prize for Short Fiction 2024. I was one of the three shortlistees. There is one more shortlisted. There's one more. There's the winner of that Asian Prize somewhere in the audience. if she is. I right now I am like the narrator ghost of Chikeni. I cannot see your face. I cannot see any of those things. I'm
Okay.
slightly confused, but I will look into nothingness and I will continue to talk. Is
Oh,
Natasha Sharma here? Yes.
yeah, she's here. Natasha,
Yes.
congratulations on
Yes.
winning.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so one more time, I just want to show everyone the cover. This is the book that we are talking about, The Mildly Chaotic World of Chikeni. Yes, Khushboo has the paperback, I have the Kindle. And yes, as she was mentioning, that it's a dystopian world we are thrown into. And what I found really intriguing is that it's a reversal, and the animals are not kind of ruling, but they are the superior beings, and the humans are below in the food chain now, and they are being treated in a manner that we treat those below us, like the animals, all animals. In fact, the way we treat them, the humans are being treated like that. So it was kind of also a karmic read, because you realize that sometime someday in the future this is going to come back to us and bite us in the ass because of the way that we are treating animals. So yeah, we look at that. And what I really liked and found very intriguing is that it's a very non-preachy written book. You're not expressing your opinions, but and we are not shown the right or wrong in a very obvious way. But while reading and after reading, you know which side is right and what you should be doing in order to make the world a better place, and right the wrongs that you might have been doing in treating the animals in the manner that you know we are. So wonderful job done, Khushbu. Kudos on that.
Thank you, Manali. Thank you so much for that generous intro.
So I am also going to read out a few passages from one of the chapters. This is a little beyond the halfway part in the book, and it's from chapter 34, which is called The Burger Alarm. And it comes at a pivotal point in the book, too. So I'm just going to read out without giving away too much now. Chapter 34, The Burger Alarm. Time, a week after Kenny joined Plant P. Place, Kenny's new home. I've been told a lot about how karma moves in circles. I'm not sure, because I'm quite comfortable as a ghost. Better than what I thought I deserved, if actions in my past life were anything to go by. But gossip, bacteria, and illnesses sure traveled in circles. I was perched on the dining table watching TV. Kenny sat by my side, licking whipped cream frosting from a jar. Whipped home in milk cream. I made a puking face. But who cared? And then Tabby Tard exploded the screen with her booming voice. Our children are miserable, Mr. Rambo. The burger baron. Do you have an explanation? Visuals of a little giraffe vomiting blood-stained contents, a dehydrated lion cub with an intravenous line dispensing fluids, and a vast crowd outside a popular burger outlet in capital city splashed on the screens. An animation of a homemade hamburger with extra homemade cheese danced about along the perimeter of the screen. Headlines flashed intermittently. Massive wave of food poisoning in waffle burger outlets across capital city. What went wrong? Kenny stared at the screen open-mouthed. He had scheduled to take the night school kids for an outing the day after. They had unanimously voted for the waffle burger outlet. Haven't I been saying they feed poison to our children? Mahan retorted. Yes, I think they can hear you now, Ma. So this comes at a point when already the protagonist, Chikani, is in a place where he's in a moral dilemma about the place where he's working, and there is a particular human. The human beings are called humans in the book. I hope I'm not giving away a spoiler by saying that.
No, no, no. That is a given. That is a given. Yes.
Yes. And one particular human that he considers his brother, they had him as a pet. He's also a part of that setup, and Chikeni is already wondering how to go about doing something that can help that particular human and other humans, because he is looking at it every day the way they are treated. And then this point comes in the book where we are looking at another twist, and this becomes one of those pushing points for Chikeni, where he does the things he does after that. And I really like that. So,
Thank you.
based
Thank
on
you.
my reading, Khushbu, okay, we
Uh-huh.
have a lot of comments coming in. I have missed them out. I'm just going to read them out. While I was reading, also, we had a lot of hearts coming in. Uh, Natasha has said, "Thank you, people. I would rather meet Chicken." Well, she's saying to you, "Welcome to the hot seat." And
Yes.
Anamika is saying, "Hello, girls." Hi, Anamika.
Hi,
Off word
Anamika.
is saying, "Love the book, especially for this reason. It's absolutely non preachy and such an entertainer." Definitely. We have Rahul here who is saying, "Khushbu is an awesome writer." And
Yes.
Natasha is again saying that exactly it's not preaching at all.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have Neha here, then who's saying hi. Neha Arora. Hi,
Hi,
Neha.
Neha. Hi.
Natasha is also liking the reading that I did. Intriguing passage, well read, Manali. Thank you so much, Natasha. And Megha is also here. Looking forward to Key's vegan nuggets of wisdom.
Oh, yes. That's Lalita. Yes, yes. Hi. Hi.
Yeah, so I am just quickly going to move on to the questions because I was very intrigued and I wanted to know what went on in the mind of the creator, that is you, while writing the story. So, firstly, I want to ask you, uh, take us through the inspiration behind this book and the story, and because that's a very interesting take that you have reversed what we are currently living in. And how long did it take for you to come up with the idea and then build upon it? Did you end up with a longer version or shorter version of it, or did you have to cut down on the final draft, or did you have to add some bits to it? Take us through it.
Okay. So, sometime in January 2023, we
Hmm.
were traveling and I was reading an audiobook.
Okay.
Okay. So, it is called Why We Love Dogs, Eat Pigs, and Bear Cows.
Hmm.
Okay. It's a piece of nonfiction. It is very hard hitting. And all this while, I have been born and brought up in a very typical Gujarati Jain household. Okay. So, by default, we are vegetarian.
Vegetarians, yeah.
And in my mind, I thought we were all very non-violent people and we had nothing to do with animal cruelty at all. And that book changed my perspective a lot because I realized that when we consume dairy, there is an entire vegan argument about not consuming dairy at all, taking away from the calf and everything, which stands true. But more importantly, the dairy farms which are trying to cater to the increasing humongous amount of or demand of milk
Hmm.
today, that leads to, or also of eggs, or also of everything that is consumed under that blanket term of animal farming.
Hmm.
So all of these lead to a lot of mistreatment to the animals that are being reared because in every way there is a lot of cutting as far as they are being managed, the costs of managing these animals. Okay, so everything from it being very extremely crowded, from pumping them hormones and things to make them produce faster, literally make them milk making machines. Okay, so that they give birth one after the other, pregnancies one after other, and then tearing away the newborns so that that milk can be utilized for ourselves, and a lot more things.
Hmm.
Okay, the stories about those hens which are cooped up and their beaks are, the
Hmm.
beaks are manually cut off, and the pigs who are manually castrated without any kind of anesthesia and everything, they are horrifying. But anyway, the point being that when I read that non-fiction, I thought about only one thing, that the only reason we are able to perpetrate this and able to cater to our greed for more yummy food
Hmm.
or whatever is
Hmm.
because we are at the top of the food chain, because somehow evolution chose us to be the smartest of them all, and so we are able to rule. Because had it been only brute force, we would not have been a patch on them, right? So some somewhere it is only because of this privilege of ours of being at the top of the food chain which gives us this liberty
Hmm.
of doing whatever we
Hmm.
do. So what if we were not in that place? Would they be
Hmm.
doing it to us? And would our stand about this thing that, uh, the way they say, the animals are made for our consumption. God designed the animals for us.
Hmm.
Would that argument have cut it with us then? So I wanted to explore that. That was the seed which led to this entire world of chicken.
Hmm.
After I uh, decided on writing something on it, at that time I wasn't writing a novel on it. I was writing a short
Okay.
story. Then
Interesting.
when I started writing, I realized the world started getting built
Hmm.
literally from from cheek any outwards.
Yeah.
And I realized there were so many things that I wanted to include, and there was an entire parallel world or a parallel universe which was out there. So eventually, it became a few chapters, and I thought, okay, we will write a novella, and then
Became
um and this
a
is all at
novel.
the planning stage. At the
Yeah.
planning stage,
Yeah.
and then I realized, no, there are going to be a lot many more chapters, and I think this might end up as a novel.
Hmm.
So that is how it happened. Then sometime in August 2024.
Hmm.
mm, yeah, so that was Jan 2024. In August 2024, Penmancy had the Tailor-thon session, a month-long challenge where you take it up and you write down. I mean, you write either short stories or whatever. You write your novella. So I
Hmm.
wrote this novel in that one entire month, and I think I managed some 44, 45,000
Wow.
words. And after that,
Okay.
when it won that pitch, I put it for a pitch fest for the Penmancy Pitch Fest season 2, where you pitch your manuscripts and then you're judged, and the winner gets the publishing contract with Readomania.
Hmm.
So then, when I won that, my manuscript got accepted, and I then added a little more flesh to the bone, if I should make a pun. And yeah,
You're
that
doing
is how the story
it.
came alive. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, we also have. I'm extremely sorry because another friend of mine has a similar handle. I thought Drama Mama is another person,
Yes,
but this is Lita.
that is
She's
Lalita.
saying,
Mm.
I love the inversion. It makes you stop and think, what if the were reversed? And then Natasha is here and she's saying, ladies and gentlemen, here's the origin story of Chikeni. Yes.
Yeah.
Interestingly, since you mentioned about reading the what inspired you to write this book, I want to know, have you personally been to such plants? Which, because I mean, the detail in which you have mentioned what goes on
Mm.
inside those plants
Yeah.
is quite graphic and, haunting.
Yeah.
And
So,
have you been inside any of those plants or have you watched any videos to,
mm.
understand what actually happens behind the scenes?
So there are two extremely, not two, there are quite a few extremely disturbing documentaries on this. One, Maa Ka Doodh, is specifically about the Indian scenario, while the dairy industry and this entire thing is much more cruel, I believe, in the West, because there we still have the desi tabelas, a lot of them. We still do have them. But but the dairy farm is very much there in India, and Maa Ka Doodh is one documentary which gave me a lot of insight on it once I started researching about it. Then I saw lot many more. I did visit a couple of shalas. I
Hmm.
so paradoxically enough, you cannot visit a dairy farm. The inner workings of the dairy farm are secret for very obvious reasons.
Hmm.
So you're not permitted to visit a dairy farm. You'll never get to visit the exact place where they are cooped up. Hundreds of them, thousands, millions of them are cooped up, and what kind of things go into that. You're not allowed to visit them. There are people who shoot that without permission. There are vegan activists who do that and put it out. And then you get a lot of documentaries online to watch that. So that thing I did. And I did read a few nonfiction as well as fiction books on this subject, a lot of them actually. And
Okay.
then but yes, and my Google search went entirely, crazy. So there was everything from how exactly the exact procedure for slaughtering uh, a pig or whatever, the incisions which are taken, everything. I read everything, but I have not included any of it in the book. And the only reason I read it was so that you, at any point as a reader, must not feel that it is on paper and not in real life. That's it.
Hmm. Yeah. We have Lalita here again who's saying no non-veg puns. Add broccoli to the salad is a better pun.
Yeah.
And of words and blues, I am sorry, I don't know your name. I'm
So
just
that is
referring
Monica
to you.
Singh. Yes, that is
Yeah,
Monica
Monica.
Singh.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Monica is saying the detailing is surreal. It
Thank you.
definitely is. this brings me to the second question that I had in mind. You mentioned that it started off as a short story, and then you realized that it's not going to cover what you want to convey in a short story. So my second question is an add-on to that. The word building in such stories, it requires a lot of challenges to be overcome because you have to mention and explain every time a new thing is coming up in a story, what is going on. Yeah. So, did you follow a certain process for this, like observing the animals, besides watching those videos and uh, searching on Google? Did you
Mhm.
observe animals whenever you were coming across them, or did you read up on such mass production factories? What
Yes,
was that process like?
yes. So as I said, I did read a lot on those mass production factories and went through a lot of those statistics and everything, but that was the gritty part of it.
Hmm.
The second part, and I was very determined about this one, was that it will have a lot of humor. There'll be a lot of satire because
Yeah.
this is quite an ugly topic. But
Hmm.
if there is humor and if we can laugh at ourselves, we might be able to accept it a lot more. And we might also be able to share the responsibility as a society and not think of it in terms of pointing fingers. Because here we all are at fault. It is right, of course,
Definitely.
at the level of the policymakers or the capitalists who are earning the most from it, but also at our level as consumers, because no consumers, no demand, no product.
Yeah.
So we all have a shared responsibility. So I thought it would be a good idea to include a lot of humor in this, and it was very clear that the humor could never be slapstick in this case because the
Hmm.
topic is quite serious. So
Yeah.
I decided it should be satire, and I included. So Chi Kenny happens to be a very, very extremely cute and misguided kind of character, also a misguiding character on the cover, because then you end up thinking that it's a cute book, but this is exactly what happened. I intended should happen to the reader. Chi Kenny, with all his rose colored glasses and all his
Yeah.
happy
He
thoughts, ends up
also,
realizing,
till the
ends
half point of the
up,
book, he also comes across as somebody who's very laid back. कुछ कर नहीं
yes,
रहा है वो, उसके
absolutely.
सामने
कुछ
सब कुछ
कर
हो रहा है.
वो हाँ हाँ he avoids confrontation at
Yeah.
all costs. He does
Yeah.
not want a confrontation. He
Yeah.
will only look at the positive side, not because he's an optimist, but because he does not want to look at the negative side.
Yeah.
So he does that throughout the first half of the book, much to the irritation and
Yeah.
annoyance of his mother Mahen, who thinks that she wanted to raise a revolutionary son, जो क्रांति ला देगा पूरी. And even if he has to go to jail for it, but he
Yeah.
will do something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. So, so, so I wanted that character to be such that everybody empathizes with him,
Hmm.
and then suddenly there should be the yanking of the carpet from under the feet
Yeah.
that it is not all that good. And I'm saying this out right now itself, but I am hoping that if you're invested enough in the book, you will still find it come as a
Yeah.
surprise to you when it's done.
Good point of making that because yes, I did read out the beginning of the turnabout, but then what happens later is not very as subtle as this is.
Yes.
Yeah, Lalita is saying, trust me, I know how that feels. We don't want confrontation until it becomes unbearable. And that is exactly what happens with Chikani also. There comes a breaking point in the book where he's like, no, enough is enough.
Yes, because when it strikes close to home, because
Hmm.
his pet Adam is very much like a pet dog, which we many of us have. So, because then that dog is very much a part of the family. That dog is very much involved in every in the everyday affair of the family and the everyday affection exchange within the family. So, if something were to happen to that, you would certainly be rankled. It would be like your child is being hurt. So,
Yeah.
Chikeni, when he realizes that his own pet is taken by this entire conglomerate of this dairy farm thing, he realizes that at some point he has to speak out,
Hmm.
and then he has to. So it is very much a story of a very goofy kind of character
Hmm.
hero who ends up becoming a hero,
Yeah.
literally.
Aparna here is also saying the book is definitely bringing out Kranti. Ma, K, are you happy? Yes, I'm sure she is. Okay, so you didn't answer the first question ka last part. I asked you, were there any changes that you had to make in the final draft from your
Hmm.
end? Yes, that
Yes,
you did you
yes,
have to
yes.
remove
I
or
missed that
add
one.
some things?
Yes. So changes in terms of limiting how much I explore this world of Chikeni, because it is an entirely new world which is been affected with all the problems which our world has.
Hmm.
How much of it could I explore in this? So since I'm exploring the dairy industry, I stuck to that, and gave a touch, a hint of exploration of the other aspects, the pharma, how it tests animals, or for that matter, the
Okay.
leather industry
Yes.
or whatever. Yes,
Yeah.
and how all of the social media is used and utilized and misused to start wars against people who are trying to voice their protest to animal cruelty and things like, and how these people use the social media for voicing their protest and everything.
Hmm.
I touched upon it. Uh, Even when in the last courtroom scene, there's an entire jury who's sitting
Yeah.
there to judge these people, right? And that is because it's a mixed bag kind of a jury, so that all opinions, there's a balanced opinion in
Yeah.
this matter. So I have touched upon the various ethical aspects or the various economical aspects of this industry. It is a huge industry and it does
Hmm.
mint a lot of money. So it is not as if we can just turn our backs and say that no, shut it off just now, right now, tomorrow, bang, the shutters are shut. We cannot do that, but we
Hmm.
must do something about it. So when I was writing about it, intentionally to a certain extent, I had to just touch those topics and leave it at that and not explore all of those
Yeah.
characters to the fullest. One. And then eventually, because I started with writing characters with extremely funny names, uh,
Yeah.
so
That's
there were
another
a
thing
lot of
that I wanted to ask
yes,
about actually. You
yes,
have
yes. So
you have used puns in the names also, and that
yes,
particular animal's characteristic is used, adjective is used to name them. That was wonderfully done, very cleverly done.
yes. Thank you. So that is how you have the judge who's very serious. He's a tiger and who wears all kinds of flashy ties. So he's called Judge Tiger. And then there are all of these pigs and sows who work in the
Yeah,
farm factory, and all of those sows, based on their personality trait, they are so kind and
yeah.
uh, so
So
manipulative
well,
and
and so
so
yeah,
vain and
yeah,
so clever and so yes, yes.
yeah.
So that is how when I was naming all those characters, I started getting a little too much of
To be
enjoyment
honest.
out of naming those characters. So I ended up making a lot of other characters also, and then I started getting attached to those puns. And then I
Yeah.
realized towards the end that all of these cannot be included just because I want to make puns. This is not like a book of names where I can just include all of them. So then I had to sit and chop out all those, as they say, kill your darlings.
Yeah.
So I had to chop out all the ones who were not playing a significant role. So then I retained a lot of them. I retained the buffalo, all the buffaloes, the buffalo
Yes.
and the balloon and the
Balloon.
baboon,
Yes.
and so many more, and hashtag and
Yeah.
a lot many more. But I had to chop off a lot of them.
Okay, we have a question from Monica. She's asking, have you received a reader feedback about the book that helped you learn something about the book and characters that you hadn't realized while writing it?
Wow. Okay. So there are two parts to this answer. The
Hmm.
first part is the very straightforward answer to this question.
Hmm.
Um, uh, I received a feedback from someone who said that they could visualize the entire thing playing out like a movie in front of them. And for Chi Kenny, they heard my voice. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And yes, that is a trait I drew upon from myself, the tendency to not confront. So yes,
Okay.
it did come from there. So that I did learn that okay, readers can be very perceptive.
Hmm.
The second part of it is from what I see in the sales of the book and from what I see people commenting about my book and how they've loved my book and everything, it does not reflect in the number of reviews which is there. So I want more people to send me reviews so that I can infer from them what they learned. So if you read the book, please, please, please write a review. If you have read Manali's book, please, please, please write a review for that also. Reviews are extremely important for the author. You have
Yes.
no idea how much.
Yes. Thank you.
Post a
Yeah.
review
Thank
on
you for saying
Amazon,
that.
post a review on Goodreads, and so that we can have a better idea about how our book is.
Exactly. Yes, thank you for saying that. And goes out for every author's book that you are reading, guys. Please leave a review. It means a lot to us. It not only helps the book reach a wider audience, but it also helps us to understand whether we need to improve and where we need to improve.
And
Yes. So
it also helps other readers find our book. In case you've loved the book, it'll help other readers find, because there's just an explosion of books out there. And when you put out a review, even it could just be a couple of sentences, just those three key words, but it often helps the right reader find the right book.
yes, definitely. Okay, we have Lalita here. She is saying, I loved how the rats carry out experiments on humans in a lab. That's a hard hitting example. Yes.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
that is a total role reversal. So that rat is called Dr. Albino.
yeah.
Yes, it's an
Yeah.
albino rat, and it's a very characteristic paradox where he's carrying out experiments on humans. Yes.
Yeah. So Lalita is also saying, adding to our list of so's, she's saying so smart. Yeah. I
Oh
think
yes,
she particularly
yes.
liked that one.
So prompt. Lalita is so prompt.
Uh, yeah, and again, we have Monica saying one of the things I absolutely admire is how Khushboo was able to bring in empathy for the worker pigs and sows, despite their gray shades. We are the worker union arc, stroke of brilliance.
Yes. So I wanted to bring it out. So it is true. This I came across when I was reading. So we would think that, oh, the people who work in the slaughterhouse must be so cruel. And they see it day in and day out and they get desensitized, which is true. But then exposure to so much of violence every single day causes a lot of effects on them. Also, just like greed and capitalist interest cause them to, the ones in power to grab so many animals and misuse them to the hilt. They also do not pay the workers enough, and the workers have very long shifts, and the workers suffer from a lot of diseases, the zoonotic diseases, which are caught because of close contact with the secretions of animals, and all kinds of secretions. When I say secretions, they are all kind, including the fluid in their bowels.
Yeah,
So when that happens, they fall sick a lot. A lot of times, their limbs get chopped off,
yeah,
and they do not
uh,
get compensation, and
yes.
a lot of other things also. And there have been so many researches which say that workers who are exposed to so much of cruelty, eventually they start venting out by being cruel on whatever they
To,
can. So it
yeah.
could be on family members, they have a higher criminal record, but also on the other animals. So a lot of times these animals get abused in all the
Hmm.
wrong ways before they are even killed. Just
Hmm.
unnatural cruelty, because there is just too much of it to take, and at some point the outburst comes out. Yeah,
Yeah.
comes out as an outburst.
We have Lalita saying that somehow I feel you are more ma hen than chicken. I also felt that actually.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So that is a very conscious effort on my part. Something which has come with, again quoting a pun, evolution. But but that tendency I did draw from that tendency of mine, and one of the readers picked it up.
Okay. Uh, we have a lot of love coming for you again. People are saying review agenda. Yes, we need more reviews. Aparna and Natasha are both
Yes.
agreeing with that.
I think,
And
Manali, we must just start one hashtag review for authors, review for authors, review for books, review for authors. I think we
yeah,
should post it on all the social media.
Khushbu is saying, sorry, Natasha is saying Khushbu is a very gifted writer. Yes, definitely. And she's again saying about the things you mentioned and revealed to us. Gosh, a chain of horrors. Okay.
It is.
So, yes,
It is.
thank you so much for answering and sharing those tidbits about the making of this wonderful book. And now I leave the floor open to you. You have read my latest book, Embraces in
Yes.
Ink. Please, the
Yes.
floor is yours.
Okay. So, I very recently have read your book. Okay. In fact, it is just out very recently. So, and this is the second book of yours that I have read. Okay. I found this book to
This
be
book
very different from all your
book to it.
from your previous work.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh,
This is the book
I
that
find this very different from your previous
yeah.
work. Sorry.
Sorry, I was
Hello.
just showing the book cover to everyone.
Yes,
You
yes.
are
So
not
the
able
thing
to see.
is,
I'm
for
so
me,
sorry.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
you are the ghost narrator right now, so I can't see you, but I trust that you're there.
Yes.
So,
So this is the
yes,
book that
yes,
Khushbu is talking about, Embraces in Ink. Please go on.
yes.
Yes.
So we have a lot of books which are heartwarming and which talk about the small good things in life. It is not as if we don't have those kind of books. But what I found really different and what I found was a welcome change in your book was you've written letters to each of them. My favorite section in it was, of course, the one where you write letters to things, to inanimate objects, everything from a curtain to spectacles to everything.
Yeah.
Okay, but yes, but also you've written about letters to yourself, letters to your friends, letters to your family, and letters to walls, and letters to the social media. So a lot of things. You've covered a lot of aspects, a lot of aspects. So the way this book has been done, and it is a breezy read. It is quick. It is also one of those reads. While I read it in one sitting, but I believe it is also one of those reads which every day with your cup of tea you could read a couple of letters and you would enjoy it, and over a month you could finish it, and uh, there would be a smile playing on your lips through the day. So it is being done with a lot of humor, with a lot of introspection. So I absolutely love this concept and lovely execution also. The way you've addressed every letter in a different manner, you've concluded and said thanks in a very different manner. It is amazing. And there's
Thank,
so much, there's gratitude expressed to every little thing. All of those letters are in a way expressing gratitude. That is done in a very nice way. Very nice. I love it.
thank you so much. Natasha is saying this sounds very intriguing, heart-achingly wonderful. Thank you so much, Natasha. Yes. Would you like to read out a poem that you
I
enjoyed
will.
the
I
most?
will. Yes, I am. Yes, I am right away bringing out. So I have two poems that I want to read out to. Okay. The first one might have something to do with my profession. So I am an eye surgeon. So I found this extremely intriguing. Dear
Which-
glasses, where you talk to your spectacles. Okay. So dear vision giver, in any relationship in my life, if any relationship in my life defines the its complicated status to perfection, it is ours. I took my time to accept I need you, preferring the blurry vision your absence provided for about 2 to 3 years. I had trouble making you a part of my life, preferring your fancy cousin, the contact lens. I could not make you a part of my face and physical appearance, shunning you when I had to show my face to the camera or to more than two people. I tried to be done with you completely, choosing a seemingly better looking and promising partner, the LASIK. But like a strict parent, you persevered in your attempt to teach me. But like a supportive friend, you stood by me even when I pushed you away. But like a loyal partner, you held my hand even when I cheated on you. Thank you, dear glasses, for helping me see the world and its beauty better, for making it possible for me to pursue my passions and engage in activities that bring me joy, right from reading and writing to traveling and watching TV, for not giving uh, up on me despite my reluctance, for being better than your substitutes who only gave me heartbreak and disappointment, for staying in my life even after I broke you physically and emotionally. I also apologize for being stubborn, dismissive, for throwing you, breaking you, forgetting you, and everything horrible I've possibly done to you and to us. I promise to try better from now. I promise to keep our relationship public and its status away from complicated on most days. In turn, will you promise to stay the same? Yeah, in fact, I would like to add a line there. In turn, will you promise you'll never hide again? So, yes, from a short but now clear sighted person. So, I love this so much, and I probably will take a printout of this and put it out in my clinic also for all my patients to
Oh wow,
read.
that makes me
I
so happy. If
yes,
and when
yes,
you do it, please share a photograph. I
absolutely goes without saying, and I will also tag it with review for authors.
yes,
Yes,
lovely.
so
Okay, I'm just
that
going to
is
read out a few comments that we have received. Of course, we were receiving a lot of hearts while you were reading it. Thank you, everyone, for those hearts. And Monica is saying, I think Siddhant was also talking about Manali's book and this aspect of writing letters to inanimate objects. Such a unique concept. Thank you so much, Monica. Lalita is also saying such a beautiful concept. Thank you. She's adding that it caught the eye doctor's eye, the
oh
one that
yes,
she read out.
I yeah.
Aparna is saying, I'm waiting for a letter from you, Manali, someday. Oh, definitely. And I loved reading your book, so you definitely deserve a letter. Whenever I have the time, I will definitely pen down one. Natasha is saying, oh, this is so cute, Manali. Love it. Thank you so much. And Monica is again saying, uber adorable. Thank you, guys. Okay, continue, please, Khushbu.
Yes. So that was one. Now, that was slightly on the humorous side. This one, which I'm reading now, is a little more on the introspective side. So this is one which you've addressed to yourself. It says, "Dear me, I'm writing this because someday in the near or far future, I know you will need it. There will be days when you feel demotivated, you will doubt yourself, you will question everything about yourself. This is why you need to be reminded to go on because you haven't come this far to stop here. You need to be reminded that there is still a long way to go. There are so many things you have yet to experience, learn, and achieve. You need to be reminded that there are still many roads to walk down. So don't belittle yourself because of whatsoever reason. Did somebody badmouth you? Come on, you've already faced the worst there. Ignore them. Did you fail at a task you set out to do? That's happened before too. So stop feeling sorry for yourself and finish that task, even if just a little late or lower than your expectations. Because knowing you, I'm sure you won't move on to the next task until you have completed this one. If it's neither of those reasons, then surely it's something trivial or bigger a hurdle than you've ever faced before. But you know what? Just remember all those things you've surpassed already and you'll be fine. Because resilience is something you've always had and always will have. You weathered the storm well. Oh, and also, thanks for being by my side through thick and thin, literally as well as figuratively. You know what I mean. Always there for with and for you, yourself.
Thank you so much.
I
What a
think
lovely reading.
that is wonderful. Yes.
Thank you for reading
So
it.
that was lovely, lovely, absolutely. And now because the mahal is a little serious, I will ask you a few short questions, and then I will take the long ones if you don't mind,
Sure, sure.
because
Of
yes, this
course.
is a serious one. Okay, so pick out your most favorite letter out of this book and why.
The ones that are a little quirky, I think I absolutely loved writing those the most because I had fun. I was smiling while writing them. I was chuckling while writing them. A few of the top of my head are the ones that I wrote to the clock. That was one of my favorites, Dear Clock. And then there's one
Yes,
I have written to the COVID-19 vaccine. That was one I
yes,
really enjoyed because I feel I am at my funniest best there because
yes,
I am asking very pertinent questions to the vaccine, like how are you
yes,
handling the pressure and all that.
yes,
And
totally, totally.
and there's
So,
one more where I've written a letter to all my social media handles, all my internet presence, and I wrote it at a time when I was, very I had a love-hate relationship with Instagram at least because I had successively lost two accounts on Instagram, and I was like, "यार मैं क्या ही करूँ अब?" Because I cannot live without it. I cannot live with it. ऐसा हो गया था. So that's the time
true,
that
true.
I wrote that letter.
Yes,
And while
yes.
writing about Instagram, I realized that, it's not just about Instagram. I am present everywhere. So I need to address the other socials also. And they are all together helping me build an online, presence. So that's how that letter came about. And I made it like you have. I've reversed the role. They are conversing with each other about me. So
True, true.
that was very interesting to write. And also a little therapeutic and cathartic that chalo I've put my feelings aside now. I can focus on other things. अभी जो angst था वो निकल गया.
True, true. So
Yeah.
it was
So
like it was like therapy to you. Yes.
yeah. And
Okay.
another letter off the top of my head that I can think about, which I really liked and enjoyed reading, and also because I wanted to put out that message, is the one that I have written to feminist men. And I'm addressing them and saying that you are appreciated. Not all feminist women hate you. Those who are feminist are not anti men. They are just anti everything that goes against women. They are not
Yes.
necessarily against you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. True. Yes. So do we do an alternate thing? Do
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
yes,
Let's do that.
I think that yes.
Okay, so my first rapid fire question to you is with whom from this world would you spend a day with and why? And what would you do? From the world of Chi Kenny, who would you
From
spend
the
a
world
day
of
with?
shooting. Okay. So I think I would spend the day with Miss Phi ST. So Miss Phi ST is a hippo. She's the lawyer who fights for Chikeni.
Yeah.
And yes, she is a Phi ST lady. Her what do you say? Adage on her office reads, "Hippos don't lie." And she's
Yeah,
absolutely,
made me
she's
laugh so
extremely
much.
feisty. Yes,
I have
yes,
to tell
she
you.
dresses well. She dresses well, and she, is ready to take on the world. And uh, she has great comebacks. She will not tolerate nonsense. So
Hmm.
if anybody gives her, especially these difficult people who, they could be men, they could be female, anybody who's making life difficult for a working woman, she does not
Hmm.
take it easily, lying down. No, so
Yeah.
she always gives back an answer. So I think I would just tail her and maybe even make notes of the responses
Yeah.
which she gives,
Shadow her.
and then
Yeah.
later use them in my own scenarios. So I
Yeah.
would certainly tail her. Yes.
Yeah. Good choice. I was expecting Cheek and your man, but you proved me wrong. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Natasha is saying well said, Manali. Thank you. I think she's referring to my feminist men wala letter. Thank you,
Yes,
Natasha.
absolutely. Also, because
And
if we don't appreciate those men, then the whole feminist debate is also losing
exactly.
steam. Because unless we welcome the change which it is bringing, how are we to expect more change? So,
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Aparna is saying hippos don't lie was my favorite line too. And as I mentioned it, it made me laugh. I was like, wow, we need more such
Yes,
lines.
absolutely. Everybody loves Shakira. Everybody. And I especially use that line because I wanted everyone to visualize Shakira because Hippo is this, voluptuous kind of a
Yeah.
woman who is very bindas and she walks exactly like that. So I wanted everyone to imagine her. So yes.
Aparna is
So
also
if you could,
saying,
yes,
sorry,
yes. No,
Aparna is
no, no, go
also
ahead.
saying, I feel there is Khushboo in Fire Steam. Yeah, I feel that too. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, your turn.
So
Feel that.
if you could write a letter to a social media personality, this is especially for you, Manali, because you are so active on social media, and I admire the way you're managing all of this so well because I am still learning. So, if you could write a letter to a social media personality, who would it be?
Oh, wow, that's a tough one. Hmm. Uh, I am in mixed feelings about influencers becoming authors. So I do, without naming anyone, I would pick somebody who recently, recently in the past few years, of a lot of them have actually influencers have turned influencers and celebrities, otherwise well known besides being writers, who have turned authors, and I would address it to them saying that yeah, it's a good thing that you're doing this, but at least make a good effort of doing it. Yeah.
So, have you read the book to of the author who you are referring to? I am certain most of us know who it is, but have you read the book? You
No,
need
I
not
have
name
not.
the book. Okay, yeah, yes.
And my actually grudge is not against the authors per se. My actual grudge is with the publishers because they are the ones encouraging it, they are the ones accepting it, and they are looking at it purely from a sales point of view, which is, I mean, it's a win win that we are getting more readers, but then at least let's expose the potential readers to something that is good.
True. And it is a sad lesson to all of us, sad or happy or whatever. It's a very glaring lesson to all of us authors that we need to up our social media game because that is the only way. If we can give them numbers, then our deserving stories have a better chance of reading audience. So
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Okay,
my
you go
turn.
ahead.
Any character that you disliked more than the rest, because there are a lot of characters to dislike from G Kenny. So, any particular one that you disliked, and did you channelize someone in your dislike while writing them?
Oh, absolutely. I channelized a lot of them. Uh, Obviously, I'm not going to name them, but I channelized them within those, molded those characters within those animals for the specific reason that I cannot be sued. This is the perfect book to channelize you know, all your complaints and fashion characters out of people because there is no way they can touch you. No, there is no way you can say this is that person. But there is absolutely. I've channelized a lot of people in this.
Uh,
But if I were to take one to pick one character, I would pick the second villain in charge instead of the first villain, who is Mr. Rambo,
Hmm.
the Ram who wears the bow and who's very sophisticated and stylish, and who uh, moves around in a Rolls Royce and
Yeah.
has diamond studded everything. And there are hyenas going around him like the commandos
Hmm.
who are in charge of the security. He is the main owner of this waffle dairy farm and everything. But I think I hate the second, his best friend, Mr. His Hyde, the one, the
Hmm.
snake, the snake. Yes, I
Yeah.
hate him. He's a
I
leather
actually
baron.
wanted
He
to applaud you on choosing the right animal for that character, snake.
Yes, I thought his hide was absolutely, because his hide is often used in making leather. And also, he's a very menacing kind of a character. He's the one who ran away with a lot of money, and he was out of, uh, you know, he had gone underground ground completely after duping so many people of their money. And then he returns back as a spiritual guru, and he has these pharmaceutical industries which go, and these sell everything from Botox to all sorts of drugs. And later on, even so, diseases which come because of this dairy farming are then being treated by the very people who have invested in this dairy farming by making
Hmm.
new drugs. So things like these. So, yes, he is the prototypical example of vested interests, and that it is
Yeah.
not possible to win over them, because they will find some commercial opportunity in whatever they make. So the
Yeah.
only thing we need to do is rein in on our own greed and be sensible about what we invest in or what we pay our money for.
Yeah. Okay, lovely. We have Natasha here who has appreciated my answer to your question about writing a letter to somebody. And Aparna is saying brand banao fir book likho, which is very true. I think हाँ ठीक है brand बन ही गया है अब तो. I mean whoever has written in the celebrity status, whoever has written a book in the past few years, they have made a brand for themselves. My thing is that if you are using your name to become an author, uh, at least put in the effort to bring out a product that is really good.
True,
And
true. So the next time
Natasha,
a reader, the next time a reader does not hesitate in picking up another book by an Indian author. So yes,
yeah, yes.
absolutely
And
true,
my problem is also that a lot of potential readers are going to pick up that book and think that these are the kind of books that are out there, which is,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
And
Yes. So then good books also get buried
yeah.
under it.
Natasha is also saying the hand that writes the novel rocks the world. I think she's responding to your your answer.
True, true, true. It is so true, and I hope we are recognized for that on some level.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll
Your
ask you the no. Are you supposed to ask me, or am I supposed
I
to ask? I am supposed to ask you.
yes.
Yes, I don't remember now. Okay, yes, go ahead.
No, no, no. You answered my question about
Yes,
the
yes,
disliking character.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Your turn.
So now a question to you: which character of Chi Kenny do you love and hate the most, and why?
I think I am a huge problem with Chi Kenny himself because, as I was mentioning earlier, for half the book he's just not doing anything. I was very
Yes,
annoyed.
इसको हिलाओ. Do
Yeah.
something. Don't be
इसे
like
हो क्यों नहीं रहा है इसके सामने सब हो रहा है including to Adam and Eve. He's looking at everything and he's not doing anything. So yeah. Natasha is saying it is like the Nepo baby debate. How many choices are we going to give substandard actors? Yeah.
true, true.
Another, another Pandora's box has opened.
I know, I know. There's just so many things to
Yes.
discuss. There's so many things to discuss. Okay, you tell me.
Yes.
You go ahead with your question.
My next question to you is which letter from Embraces would you write differently? Why and in what manner?
Hmm. So actually, you did bring up that letter. It is about the COVID
Hmm.
vaccine, because I have been on the other side, on the COVID warrior side.
Hmm.
So I would not exactly write it differently, but I would add something. I would add my perspective to it. It gave us the courage to serve people more. Okay.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yes. So, because eye surgery deals very closely with
Yeah.
the face, so
To
we were at
touch.
high
Yeah.
risk.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, yes. So, even while we are examining, we generally need to go very close to the patient. If we are
Hmm.
operating, the droplets from everywhere around the face are bound
Uh,
to
yes.
rise up, and they are the ones which have a higher viral load and a higher chance of us getting infected. So, I think this vaccine gave us a lot more courage to do our duty better.
Oh,
So I would have addressed that part.
oh, lovely. Thank you. Yeah. You were on the other side where, you were closely associated with it. So that would be a great angle to add to the letter. Yeah. Okay. Your turn.
Okay. To whom from Chi Kenny's world would you write a letter? And what would it be about?
I think I would address it to Mahan and just,
Hmm.
ask her to have patience because I was realizing while, Chikeni was working in the factory and he was coming and telling her everything, what was going on. And this guy is not doing anything about it. She's losing her temper at him often about that, he's your brother. What are you doing? And you are just sitting there working like that. So I just want to write a letter to her saying that, he will do something. Just have patience. It might be a little late that he takes up the, baton of doing something, but it will happen.
True, true. Because she is this very no nonsense kind of lady, and she's always had the secret dream of having a Krantikari bacha. So
Yeah.
she's always wanted that that a son should go to jail, in fact, for for
Yeah.
thinking about
Yeah.
Kranti. So, and then she has this kid who's so laid back and who would just avoid confrontation at all costs. So she is very much like our Indian
Yeah.
prototypical mother who will keep cursing the child. कुछ नहीं करते, कुछ नहीं करते. If in fact if I were to put a very cliched line in her dialogues, it would be ये पूरा दिन मोबाइल लेके बैठते इसीलिए ये हो रहा है. So that would have been there too.
Yeah. She never says it in those many words, but we can sense the frustration that she is
Yes,
in, and she wants to say that particular thing too.
yes, yes. I am hoping that that character will bring in a lot many more ma hens to read my book.
Yeah. Yeah. Aparna is saying, Manali, this letter to Mahan should be read by most Mas in the world. Yes.
Yeah,
Aparna is also she is saying that I'm happy to have known a warrior like you, Khushboo. Wow. Yeah.
thank
Um,
you.
since we are on the
Hmm.
topic, you were also one of those, Aparna. So don't, don't belittle
Absolutely,
yourself. Don't
absolutely.
forget yourself.
True, true.
Yes. Okay. It's my turn again. So my next question to you is: any letter that you would like to add to the letters and embraces, like any letter that you felt could have been addressed and I have not.
Hmm. So you've already written letters to friends. Okay, maybe I would write one to my girls' tribe who is also attending right now. They've always been there. Always.
Yes.
You say
Yes,
anything, yes,
actually,
yes,
yeah.
yes. तू कर लेगी. We will be there. We will be there.
Yeah.
बस थोड़ा सा ही बाकी, थोड़ा सा ही बाकी.
Yeah.
You
We
want to
need time.
go and touch a star. नहीं बस इतना सा ही बाकी है. तू start कर हो ही जाएगा. पहुंच ही रही है. So they are always there. So
Yes,
maybe I would write a letter to
definitely. Yes.
them. Yes,
Our sister tribe is very important for us, and they hype us so much. We are like, yes, we can, we can. We also start believing in ourselves thanks to the girl tribe that backs us all the time. Yes,
yes.
definitely. Sisterhood rocks, yes. And Aparna is saying, oh, I love myself as well. Good, Aparna.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
your turn.
So my chance? Yes. So since this book of yours is about letters, tell us one of your favorite epistolary novels where the book is written in a series of letters or emails. Which one have you enjoyed reading? Because I know you also read a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just going to take a few seconds to pull up an Instagram post where I have recommended this genre. So yeah,
Okay.
I don't because I read a lot. It's not easy to remember them all. So I'm just going to refer to that list.
Agreed. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Off the top of my head, there is one book by Vikas Arun Parekh, Letters to My Mother, which I absolutely enjoyed. So definitely check that out. It's published by Vishwakarma, and very good book. I am just going to pull up that list now. And I'm also a part of a reading club where they had this prompt once where we had to recommend epistolary books. In fact,
Mhm.
I think the prompt was provided by me only, and then I ended up recommending the books also.
Yeah. So no, but that is a very interesting format to write in. It is very
Yes.
different because when you start reading, you immediately get into the viewpoint of the reader, of the lector. So
Yeah. So the first here that I have recommended is The Color Purple by Alice Walker. A very powerful book. Definitely read.
extremely,
If you have
also
not,
very disturbing.
yeah.
I have. It is also extremely disturbing, and yes, worth a read. Yes,
Then there is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Choxby. Again, a very good book. Coming of age, if you are wanting to read a good book in that genre, subgenre, then there is this one also. Then there is the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel
mm,
Society. Again, a very good book. I have not read the book. I have watched the adaptation, and the screen adaptation is also very good. So definitely read that. Then, of course, there has to be rom com. So I have Bridget Jones' Diary, very funny book, and a very good screen adaptation also. And
true, true.
then I have just a minute. The Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid, very popular author. So that's a good book too. And I've heard a lot about this book, but I have not read it. The Flat Share, which is also a very popular book. So check it out too. Love Rosie is another by Cecilia Ahern. I enjoyed
Yes,
reading it. And of course, we have a classic, Lady Susan by Jane Austen.
true. Agree. Agree
Then
about that.
there is another biographical one, which is very emotional read and definitely recommend to everyone. The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, again epistolary.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, that is one book I think everybody should read.
Yes,
Everybody.
and one of my favorite bloggers and authors. She also has a book which is poetry and kind of like what I have written. She has written in the form of letters, and it is called 23 Letters of Love by Suchita Agarwal, and it's on available on Kindle Unlimited. Do definitely check that out also.
Most certainly. Yes.
Yes,
That is
so
quite a good list. That is quite nice list. And
and
I mean, varied genres also. Good.
yeah, a lot of people have uh, appreciated the list, and they are also recommending books. Anamika
Yes,
has
I
said about sisterhood. Uh, we rock. Chumma chumma lele. Aparna is saying because for our sisterhood, and Aparna has recommended Letters to Milena by Franz Kafka. Uh, she's also adding, though nobody asked me. No, no, definitely recommend.
of course, of course, of course.
Color Purple, yes. Monica is also agreeing with that. Potato Book is amazing. Bridget is amazing too. Yes, definitely. Color Purple was quite moving. Yes. Fletcher, yes, I intend on reading that. I have not read it. Fletcher is quite good, Natasha is saying. Potato Book is awesome. Yes. Diary of Anne Frank is poetry in motion. Yes.
True.
Okay. Yes. So now it's my turn again. Correct. I will just move on to my next question, which is have you read or watched any movie or series which also talks about an alternate universe like you have done in your book? And please recommend us those.
Hmm. So here I want to give a little offbeat kind of an answer because while we have discussed about me being an author and me being a doctor and everything, we have not spoken about me being a mother.
Mm.
Now, the only movie or alternate universe related with animals that I get to watch very frequently is Peppa Pig
Mm.
all the time. And I would actually recommend it if you don't have a kid or haven't had a kid in the last 10 years, and if you haven't watched, please go and watch Peppa Pig once. You must know what is worth the hype. You must see it.
Okay.
Also, there is subtle sarcasm in the whole thing, which I'm sure they have put so that the parents enjoy watching it as well, and they do not let the kids watch it. So
Okay.
yes, so it's about a pig who lives in this world. Everybody, there's pig and there's elephant and there's giraffe and everything, and all of them behave as humans. And
Okay.
it's a very yes. But what I also realize is that, and you also are Guju, so it is not as if this is a new concept. We've had Bakor Patel ni Vartao
Uh,
since when,
uh,
right?
yes.
So that was the OG Peppa Pig, I think. Yes, where there was this. Yes. So I think we
These
must.
two. Yes.
Yes, yes.
And
Traditional literature, local, languages and traditional native stories must make a comeback.
yeah.
I think a lot of them were ahead of their time. But they should come.
I also like animated movies, and most of them are about the animal world. Off the top of my head, I can think of Angry Birds. Then, of course, Po Panda, Kung Fu Panda is always top of the list on that. And then we also have Secret Life of Pets, which I really absolutely enjoyed. It's a very cute movie, Secret Life of
Yes,
Pets.
it is. It is. It is very nice. Yes, agree.
These are just a few I can think of, but I'm sure there are
Yeah,
many others.
there's
Of course,
a
Minions
huge.
is
So
also there.
oddly
Minions is
enough,
not an yeah,
animated movies, you see a lot of these with animals as main characters,
yeah,
not as much in books. But of course, all these movies they thrive on our need to find animals cute when they behave like humans,
yeah.
and they
Uh,
only explore the cuter aspects of humans. So
yes.
I thought maybe when I write a book, I should write about animals with the other aspects of humans and see how cute that looks. And then I'll put in a little humor and then see how that looks. And then that is how she came out.
We have other recommendations coming in. Natasha is saying Madagascar. Aparna is saying Ice Age. And was it because of the earphones? I think. Correct? Yeah. Yeah. Static on audio. Yes, we have overcome that hurdle. No more static.
No more static.
Hmm. Natasha is saying George is my favorite character from Peppa Pig. Yeah. Lovely.
Yes,
And
because George
yeah,
takes no nonsense. George says whatever he wants, and George, if he's decided, he'll say only dinosaur for everything you ask him. He will say only that. So yes,
we were talking about the non-cute aspects. So one other movie is coming to my head, which is Monsters Inc., which shows a different side of the monsters that we are afraid of, and it's a very cute movie again.
I haven't watched that. I must check it out.
Oh, very nice. Please do. The world is turning dystopic. Thank God the noise stopped. Headphones are statistically proven to cause static. Oh, ah. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, so that brings me to the end of my questions that I had for you. I think you had a couple more questions for me. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. So, it is essentially the same question which you asked me. So, you walk us through your process because this time you are addressing all these questions which, day to day objects and people and all those people. So did you go about with a chotu diary or did you scribble or did you type out on your notes every now and then? And that is how you wrote those letters, or did you make a few notes and then pen down the letters on your desktop, or how did you manage to do it? Over what time period, or what, was it that you were writing a few of them and you fished them out from years ago and then you compiled them? What was your process?
Yeah, definitely the last one because that is always there.
Yes.
At the time I was writing a few letters, I didn't know they would go and make a part of a book in a few years. So I think subconsciously the process has been going on for almost a decade now. Because I've been writing poetry for over 2 decades since I was a teenager. I've been doing poetry, so I feel very comfortable writing in this genre, in this format. So I've been doing it for a while, writing letters and it actually started with me writing letters to people on their birthdays in the form of poetry. So I knew that people connect with that, and then I started doing those on my blog also regularly. कि लेटर के फॉर्म में कुछ लिख रहे हैं तो people are connecting really well with it, so I started with that. Not addressing one particular person, but probably addressing a gender or probably addressing a particular community. It started in that manner. So the first one from that was the letter about I wrote to the feminist men, and yeah, that was the first one in that a larger community that I was addressing, not to a particular person, like not a father or mother or my brother or my husband or my friend, but a bigger community. That's where it started. And then the next one that I wrote was a really funny one, which was the antisocial one. When my socials became antisocial, that's what I titled the letter initially. And then, in that letter, I had made it very personal because I was addressing it to myself. The socials were talking about me in
Mm-hmm.
particular, focus. So my name was coming in that letter that, this is about Manali, let's focus on her. And I also had a few social media handles which I had to add and remove because I don't remember in the final version whether I have talked about my Amazon and Goodreads account because they also made an appearance in the first draft. And they were the ones saying that, we are the ones who made her an author. We gave her that tag, and how are you forgetting us? So
It
that
does get forgotten sometimes. You are right. It does get forgotten sometimes. Yes.
yeah. So I removed that part while putting out the final version because it would not connect with the authors who with the readers who are not authors, and it didn't make sense. It was very personalized. So that was another process where I had to look at the letters from another angle where it would not be too personal and it would be able to be universal, make it universal and less personal. So that was another process which came towards the end of the book, compiling the book, where I had all the letters together. I had compiled them, but I was trying to make them non-personal, more universal. And consciously, I think I made a choice to write this book when I was a part of a writing challenge, two writing challenges, in fact. So I'm a part of the block chapter community where every April we take part in a challenge which is called the A to Z challenge, where we are writing with each alphabet every day, like
Yes.
right from A, right from B, right from C. And I started with that, with dear artist, dear this, dear that, and a lot of the letters are from there. Before
Hmm.
that, through Authoropod, I was participating in their challenge, which is November to an October to remember or November to remember, something like that, where they had given us prompts, writing letters to different people, and under that I wrote the letters to the friends, the strangers, the father, the mother. Under that challenge, I wrote that. So these two challenges were actually the ideation part for the book, where I realized this can be converted into a book, and about 30-35 poems were from there. And but I realized that that these many might not be enough.
So,
So I went back to the poems I had written over the years in the form of letters, and I added them to the compilation that I was making. And the next process that followed was making them less personal and more universal. But before actually I decided to convert the letters into a book, I reached out to a few of my trusted friends, and I asked them, is it a good idea to convert this into a book? Because a lot of them were very personal, and I wanted to understand whether people would be really interested in reading it or not, because किसी और की डायरी किसी को पढ़ने में क्यों ही इंटरेस्ट होगा ऐसा.
but they are very relevant. They are extremely relevant.
Yeah.
And they do not deal with the everyday thing. They
Yeah.
deal with the larger scheme of things. Maybe that is why they are so relevant.
Yes.
Because if they were to deal with the nitty-gritties of every day, they are subjective to everyone. But this is in a broader sense. So it is absolutely relatable. They have done very well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so involving the friends was a good idea because they gave me an idea and they said that, they even pointed out that these are the ones that feel very personal. Maybe you can remove them or work around them to make them less about you and more about the reader.
True.
So yeah, that process followed after that. And बाय देन आई रियलाइज कि कुछ कुछ चीजें हैं जिनको मैंने लेटर्स नहीं लिखा है, कुछ कुछ लोग हैं जिनको नहीं लिखा है, सो आई रोड फ्रेश वंस, and that's how the collection came to be, 50 plus poems. From 30 it became 50.
Yes. But they are done very well.
Thank you.
And we are glad that you added more. We are glad that you Okay. Now, my next question to you is, see, you're quite a prolific writer. This is your 10th book, if I remember it right, right?
Yes.
This Embraces in Ink is your 10th
Yeah.
book. So, how do you go about managing everything, writing and editing and then promoting your book, plus you must be having your other writing assignments, and plus then you have this entire social media presence, because that kind of occupies it, I mean takes a lot of time, is what I have realized. So then how do you do it? Do you have some daily writing discipline or a schedule kind of a thing which you do, or you are a spontaneous writer and then once the idea comes to you, you finish it off in record time? Is that how you go with the flow? How do you do it, and how do you strike such a fine balance between the two? Because this is an this is a universal complaint which all writers have. I want to be secluded enough to write that nobody looks at me, and I want the entire world to know me and the entire world to read my book. And then striking a balance between these two is so difficult. So how do
Yeah.
you manage?
I think it's a combination of a lot of factors. Once I brought my first book out and I realized that, not many people are reading it besides the ones that know me. I think that's when I upped my social game. Understanding the importance of social media was the first thing that I realized as an author, that only this is going to help me go beyond a certain number of sales. And an online presence is absolutely necessary for that. So you know, upped my social game, became active on my social media. And, I've always enjoyed creating content on social media. I think that's one of the very important factor that helps me stay active and prolific on social media. That it becomes a source to promote my books is just an add-on, I think. So, so I think that motivation comes from actually loving social media and
It
creating
shows,
content for it.
it shows also. Yes, it shows in your content also, because a lot of us might not enjoy it as much, but we must not ignore it. And
Yeah.
yes, yes. So we must all take inspiration from you and start doing a lot more. And if we do not we do not have the natural creativity with regards to social media, maybe we should take inspiration from you. But we must all do this. Yes.
I think the first step would be to start enjoying the content that you create. Then it doesn't become a chore for you. You are
Yes, and
not.
also it should not be generic. I think.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that helped me a lot, and that continues to motivate me to create content for social media. And another factor that helped was, I realized that when I put out my third book, by the time my third book was out, I realized that मेरे जैसे बहुत सारे authors हैं जिनको ऐसा, who would also want to promote their books, and that's how the author collaborative started. I wanted to reach out to them, not just through, for a reason to learn from them, but mutual collaboration से हमारी books भी promote होगी, we will also learn from each other.
True.
So that was another idea that was added, and it helped my books also reach a wider audience. It helps the guests who books also read a wider audience. We have talking points, so many talking points related to book, to our writing. And yeah, another motivating factor was added to the list of things. And every week I look forward to hosting this show and talking to a new author and talking about their latest books, and just being able to connect to somebody who thinks along the lines that I do, because we are authors. Author collaborative पे जो आता है वो तो author है ही. So, and the audience is also generally authors, so we are
Yes.
able to connect.
True. True. Absolutely.
And the process that follows is that, Khushboo, that I have had some personal goals since the time I became an author and realized that, just one book is not going to be enough. And people want more from you. Once your first book is accepted and loved, it's not going to end there. You have to continue putting out more books regularly. And that personal goal has also helped me कि हर साल एक या दो बुक तो आनी ही चाहिए. So that helps me stay on track कि ये book हो गई, let's focus for a little more while on promoting it, but let's not forget that another book has to come out in a few months again. So that helps me stay focused. And the communities that I'm a part of help me stay focused on that goal. Like Blog Chatter A to Z is always the challenge that I was talking about, which helped me with embraces. That is one of the challenges that helps me, stay on track with my writing of books and creating books around a particular idea. That helps me. That month-long challenge is one of my biggest motivations, and ideation of books comes from there. And then
Yes.
there are of course other challenges also that I take part in, and of course following authors and writers what they are doing. always encourages you that they are doing so well, I can also do something, I can also contribute, I can learn from them, emulate them. So that's another thing. And as for the writing schedule, I have divided my day into certain, hourly or couple of hours where I dedicate it to personal. Like if I'm writing for somebody else, I divide it like that. Am I writing for myself or am I writing for somebody else? I do freelance assignments, so those are for somebody else. This is for me. So first half goes in writing for somebody else, second half goes for writing for myself. So that helps. That kind of discipline has helped me stay on track as well. And yeah.
No, that is so true. Discipline is, and as you said, rightly said, these challenges are a great way to achieve our personal goals. So for you, it is the Block Chatter A to Z challenge. For me, it has always been the Penmancy Tailorthon challenge. I look forward. I plan everything. I am ready with my material for my book or my story or my novel or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then come August, I sit down and I take up this Penmancy Ka challenge and I finish whatever I'm doing. So the first time I took the challenge, I wrote my novella. It's a self-published one. It's for young adults and children. It's called The Fairly Ordinary Princess. So I self-published it on Kindle. And then the next time around, I wrote Chikeni. And then eventually it went for the Pitch Fest, and I got a publisher, a dream publisher in Readomania and everything. So these challenges, sometimes these challenges can bring about amazing results, which maybe otherwise everyday discipline. I mean, it is a little difficult because that extra little push
Yeah.
which you need comes with these challenges, and because everybody else in the group is also
Exactly.
doing that
Yeah.
challenge, so that community enthusiasm kind of propels you forward for that
Yes.
duration. So that
Yes.
helps. Yes,
And
true.
one other thing that I would like to add is that the reader's feedback and the way the content is getting accepted and loved, that's another very motivating factor for me. For instance, I've written two novels and they have both been really loved and accepted. But now I know that the people are getting angsty about when the third novel is coming out. So that also becomes a sense of responsibility that I have in my head. Ki, अभी तीसरा नॉवेल लाना पड़ेगा बहुत टाइम हो गया है पीपल आर वेटिंग फॉर इट सो दैट बिकम्स अनदर मोटिवेशन
Absolutely, and that is the best kind of motivation, I believe. So yes, when you know an audience is waiting, what more motivation do we need?
exactly, yes. Monica here is saying, absolutely agree with you, Manali. There's so much to learn, so many ways for us to grow. Exactly.
True.
Okay, so Khushbu, we come to the last segment of this episode, which is the gratitude bingo. Since you have read the book Embraces and it focuses on the theme of gratitude, the gratitude bingo is focused on all the things that gratitude can lead us towards. You just have to answer in yes or no. I'm just pulling up the bingo now. They are just a few questions that you need to answer, and we'll see how you do. Okay, my
Natasha says, I love your organic growth, Manali.
thank you
Yes.
so much, Natasha. Okay, my first question to you in the gratitude bingo is: did a random act of kindness?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, next one: paid gratitude to an object.
Always, more than I pay to people, all the time. Yes.
Lovely. Oh, I have someone like me. I love it.
Absolutely.
Okay, next one: wrote a gratitude letter.
Yes, I did. I did. Yes.
Lovely. Okay, next one: said sorry to someone in the last 24 hours.
Huh. So not a very planned and remorseful sorry in the last 24 hours, but sorry for tiny little things like bumping into them or something like that. Yes.
Oh, yeah, of course. Next one: said thank you to someone in the last 24 hours.
Yes, a lot of times. I think I said thank you a couple of times on this show itself. So yes.
Okay, next one: hugged someone in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, yeah, my daughter. But then now I'm coming down with a viral, and I'm not very happy about it.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Take care. I hope nothing untoward happens to your health. Okay, next one: said something nice or paid a compliment to someone in the last 24 hours.
I hope I have to you on this interview. So yes,
Yes, you definitely have. Okay, next one. Forgave someone who hurt you.
yes, I have.
Okay, next one. Helped someone without any motive or expectations.
Mm, so I would like to believe I have, but sometimes I feel we are not very impartial in judging our motivations. So
Yeah.
sometimes we don't accept the we might have, and also if we help without any motivation, sometimes the motivation is that warm fuzzy feeling which you get. So that is
Yeah.
also a motivation. So that way, yes.
Okay. Next one. Gave someone a shout out in the last 24 hours.
Yes, precisely because I wanted this our post to reach the maximum number of people. So I did give shout outs. Yes.
Lovely. Next one. Listen to someone with empathy and without judgment.
Yeah, I think it is a part of my regular profession, the doctor profession. So, yes.
Of course. Next one. Spend quiet time alone outside.
Outside, no, because people keep chasing me all the time. How do you manage outside quiet time? I don't know how anybody manages, any adult manages outside quiet time. And in fact, how does any child also manage outside quiet time? Because then the adult will be saying, hey, andar aao, andar aao, andar aao. But I most certainly don't get outside quiet time. Inside quiet time, yes, I sometimes, because I just shut the bathroom and I'm inside, so nobody knows. So that is how. Then I'm sitting at the book, don't come out till you're done, and then just say you have diarrhea. But otherwise, no.
Okay. Next one. Did not complain for a whole day.
Oh yes, I have spent many days not complaining, but not because I am extremely optimistic, but because I feel nothing is going to come of it. So yes.
Oh, lovely. You are one of the very few guests. I think you are only the second one to say yes here because a lot of guests have said no to this. And I've seen the light going out of their eyes and realizing that, oh my God, we complain so much.
Uh, yes.
Okay, next one. Wrote three things you like about yourself.
Two things like about myself. Your voice is breaking a little. Two things I like about myself.
No, you wrote three things that you like about yourself. Have you
Three
done that?
things
Hmm.
I like about myself as a person.
No, have you
Okay.
done it? No, you don't have to tell me. You just have to tell me that whether you have
Yes,
done
yes,
it or not. Three things.
yes. Absolutely.
Okay, lovely. Next one. Wrote three things that you like about your parents.
About, I mean, I've given gratitude for that.
Sorry.
I am the voice is breaking, so I'm not able to. Or is it only for me or is it for everyone? I have no idea, but your voice is breaking, so I'm making a plain guess at what you're saying.
Uh, so the question is, you wrote three things that you like about your parents. Have you done that?
So what happens is when you say the question is, I can hear it clearly. Then when you say the question, I'm not able to follow it. I think it is something to do with parents and feelings, and I am
Yeah.
guessing that it is something positive, and so I'm saying yes, but I don't know what the question is.
I think your voice, yeah, your voice is cracking. We have
Some
people
technical,
saying in the comments
the
also
net,
that your voice is breaking.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, your camera is also a little blurry now.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I think there is some issue with the net that I have enough, but I think there is some issue with the network. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to try one more question. I think we are losing you. If you are not able to hear, we'll end the bingo here. Okay. The next question is, wrote three things you like about someone you envy.
No, lost you completely. Lost you completely.
It's okay. We'll end the gratitude bingo here. I'll send the template to you. You can share it on your stories. That's fine.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Khushboo, for joining me today. It was lovely having you.
Thank you.
And I always ask this question to the guests so that I can invite them again. So tell us about when your next book is coming out.
I think we'll have to type it out now. I am not able to hear you. And I don't know if you guys are able to hear me. Are you guys able to hear me?
No, we are not. Your voice is cracking. It's
Yeah.
okay. Khushboo, I'm going to let you go. We end the episode here. We can, of course, do it. I'll share the template with you, and I look forward to hosting you again. Keep writing.